is underway for the second 40 minutes, and I just wonder whether if London build up a lead this time they can hang on to it, or whether Huddersfield can come out in this second half and be invigorated by the way they ended the first half with those 2 quick tries that have given us this pretty tight situation.
It has been a problem, though, for the London Broncos. The second half has been a nightmare over the last 4 or 5 games.
Good pace at the play of the ball from Danny Russell. He's away from 2. Beasley was the third man in, and he brought him down. Goulding to Berry, and Berry stands, tries to offload in the tackle.
Another great run from Danny Russell. He'd have to be classified as one of the best hookers running around in Super League these days.
That's a huge kick at Peters, and Peters collected it, and the Huddersfield players, Weston and Bentley, couldn't close in for the kill because they were all stood offside, and it was a good shout from referee Steve Presley. So Peters had no pressure, but for all of that, it was a real panic take by Dominic Peters, wasn't it?
Testing the nerves, and obviously Malcolm really has said to Bobby Goulding, look, it took us nearly 15 minutes to apply the pressure to the nerves on Dominic Peters. Let's do it straight away. Just over a minute. They've done it. There'll be more to come, I'm sure.
Here's Hammond, whose kicking was influential in that first half. That's the last one for the Broncos, and it's with Hammond again. And he shakes a kick, and now he dabs it through. And it's well claimed by Danny Arnold. And Arnold almost away, but Millard did well to haul him down.
He's having a wire game in attack is Carl Hammond. It was a neat little trick through. He thought he'd been obstructed, but you don't have to get out of the way.
Well, I must say the London Broncos defence at that play the ball was like a dog's hind leg. And it's there again. No wonder the referee, Steve Presley's getting a bit of stick from the crowd here. This now is Dave Borton. He saw plenty of it in the first half, didn't he, the number 11? So did Fozzard. He does well, unloads to Borton again. Back it goes to Russell. Russell gives it some width. Here's Matt Sturm. All wrapped up, though.
Problem is, you can see there that Matt Sturm, the big second row, was standing still. Didn't anticipate the kick.
Oh, and Dominic Peters juggles again. Managed to claim it, though. And, oh, that ball was stolen one-on-one. It's play on. Bentley's got it back.
Well, he did everything right. Took the kick. And then has the ball reefed away from him.
And so it's the Giants who are on the attack again. Good ball at the back door to Goulding. And he is all wrapped up by Robbie Simpson. Russell gets the ball away to Berry. Berry is picked up and dumped down. Millard and Rexless hunting as a pair. Russell, Tangata-Toa. They can't put him down. Now they do. Russell marshalling his troops, looking for Goulding, and finds him. This is Fozzard. Oh, the pass was to the ground and not Lenihan, but he did well to pick it up. And Lenihan now will straighten it. Ayre and Hammond bring the centre down. Russell to Goulding. A kick from Goulding, yes, over the top. A tester for Tollett and Fleming. Tollett is there, trapped in goal. Great chase. Great chase by the Giants, led by Danny Arnold.
Neat little chip over there. Covered it well, though, did Tollett. Kick's only as good as a chase, and you can see that Danny Arnold really was eager to get there first. Good pressure. Well, we saw the Huddersfield coach, Malcolm Reilly, take off the fullback, Paul Riley, when he made 2 mistakes, and you wonder perhaps if the London coach Dan Staines might be thinking about replacing this youngster, because he's going to be put under more pressure as this game goes on.
Well, how about that, Steve? From a dropout from underneath their own post, they just make about 15-20 metres, but they find touch and they get head and feet at the scrum as a result. So that must be, it must surely be a ploy, that, because Hammond aimed to kick for the sideline. Well, maybe that's why.
That's the new rules, and good to see that some professional players do understand that you will get the head and feet.
But in your own 20-metre zone?
It's a gamble, but it's paid off.
It has so far. Here's Millard. Let's find out what was said at half-time. Huddersfield has started well. What was said, Bill?
That's exactly what Malcolm really would have wanted from his side. An enthusiastic start to this second 40. That's what he was looking for. A more up-tempo performance from them. They were a little bit flat in that first 40 and they suffered the consequences. Came to life late on in the play, and they're looking to maintain that momentum, to improve their defence as well, and to put a little bit of pressure, as we've seen already, on Dominic Peters on the London Broncos wing.
Well, he juggled with it there. Bentley went backwards, that's A-OK, but it allowed the London defence to really swarm over them. And you just get the feeling, Eddie, that perhaps mistakes will certainly turn this game around.
Yes, Bentley was lucky. He was facing his own try line, got away with it. The drive upfield there from Darren Simpson. Let's go back to Bill and get the news of what Dan Staines was saying at half-time.
No panic in the Broncos dressing room. They look fairly philosophical when they came out for the second half. I think they were anticipating that at some stage Huddersfield would come back at them. They've got to weather the storm early in this second half, keep their composure, keep possession and complete their sets of 6.
Dominic Peters is certainly going to be tested and peppered, I rather fancy, during this second half. That was yet another kick from Goulding, and Peters took an eternity to pick it up, and Goulding raced downfield and put every one of his players onside, and Peters was collared, not even 10 metres away from his own line. So they're enthusiastic and they're ready for this, Huddersfield. Beasley.
Well, he tried for the 40-20.
And that went sailing out on the full.
He was over the 40 mark, but why on earth they're allowing Beasley, the hooker, to take responsibility when you've got the likes of Carl Hammond on your side?
And Beasley maybe ought to be in the blood bin anyway.
Certainly plenty of claret rolling down across the lips from the nose.
Here's Stern. Big raw-bone, Fozzard rather, big raw-bone forward is Nick Fozzard. Now Goulding. Back it goes to Tangata-Toa. This is Russell. Russell then helps the ball on to Hudson. Good tackle on Hudson, and it had to be as well from Wynyard. And Lenihan gets away from Hammond, but fortunately for the Broncos, he can't get away from Robbie Simpson. Now then, here comes Berry.
Now this is the point where the likes of Bobby Goulding has to run across the face, maybe chip into the corner. Surely they'll go for Peters again.
Here's Goulding, and he's targeted this left winger. Oh, and Peters this time comes up with it, but they were all offside, all stood in front of the kicker, Bentley, who were wearying the decision with referee Steve Presley. They've got to give, if they're stood in front of the kicker, obviously they're offside, but anyway, they've got to give 10 metres grace to the man catching the football, and Bentley did not do that.
Well, I'm not sure that he was offside, and the look on the face of Bentley makes me give the impression that he didn't think so either, but on that occasion you saw the youngster Peters take it quite well, but there was someone back to help him. John Timu came back and acted as a shield, and that was a big problem when they came up with those big mistakes against Wigan last week. As I mentioned, London Broncos have been working very hard on protecting the man receiving the kick.
Good chase from the marker position by Craig Weston. Beasley was the dummy half, and he's given it here to Robbie Simpson. Simpson loses it on halfway, and Hammond was claiming that was a 2-on-1, but the referee Steve Presley was unimpressed with the claim.
Well, they were just turning him over, trying to get him on the back, and Simpson just couldn't keep control of it.
Nowhere for Fozzard to go. Goulding onto Russell. Here's Tangata-Toa. Got away from Millard, but Timu and Rex was inevitably in there to haul him down. Russell is the dummy half again. This is John Bentley now. Bentley, who has played for Malcolm Reilly at 3 different clubs, plays the ball there. Hudson finds Goulding. Busy run from Goulding. Brings it back on the inside to Berry.
But then again, we saw Bobby Goulding going across on the arc, but I get the impression he should go a bit deeper. That's a good kick, though.
Great kick. Oh, the ball has come free. That could be a try.
Has he forced it?
Did Carl Hammond force the ball behind his own line? Danny Arnold was hunting the mistake, and maybe the mistake has come. It's another big call here for the video ref.
Beautiful kick yet again from Bobby Goulding. Back across on the angle. Hammond was there.
Also, did Carl Hammond get downward pressure to make it dead?
No, I think he missed it.
Or is it a try?
Now he's got to decide whether he's forced it with the downward pressure on his body.
Well, the Huddersfield crowd are applauding the try.
Is he offside? Ooh, it looks okay there. Just about level. So that's okay. Hammond comes away, and I don't think he forced it. That'll be try time.
And certainly the man who touched it down was onside, was the first man in onside.
Now then, is that forcing the ball?
Well, we've seen a try given for that, haven't we? The other end.
Several times. So it's a big one. He's pretty busy today, Mr. Campbell.
Arnold thinks he scored. Hammond thinks he doesn't. I wonder what the video referee, David Campbell, believes. Arnold watches anxiously. Here's the decision. The try is not given. Malcolm Reilly is emotionless. Well, Hammond given the benefit of the doubt for forcing the ball down in his in-goal area. Arnold cannot believe it, and neither can the Huddersfield crowd. But as we made the point, Steve-O, we've seen tries given the other end for that in the past.
Upper body, forcing the ball according to our video referee. Big lead off. He's creating a few problems, isn't he, this fella at the centre, Jim Lenihan. So's this guy.
Yes, Russell's having a big game. Lenahan's having a big game. Goulding is getting more and more involved in this second half. Tanga Tatoa now will run straight. Beasley was first man to him. And that ball comes free.
He's lost it.
Yes, he has.
That really is a bad time to come up with a mistake. Well, he's worked hard. Tanga Tatoa. And that was the little knock on. How many mistakes do we have to see from here on in now? To be fair, it's still wet out there. We've had quite a lot of rain for the build-up to this game.
Well, of course we have. It's the summer, Steve-O.
At least the flowers are happy.
Is that a family you know somewhere in? Beasley. That would be the Jason Flowers family, will it?
No, the petal type.
Robbie Simpson. 8 metres inside his own half. Huddersfield standing pretty tall in defence at the moment. London having the devil's own job to get through them.
Well, the Broncos will be happy that they've absorbed all that pressure. Oh, nice ball, but that's forward.
It was a knock-on anyway from Chris Ryan. And it was a mile forward.
Good option. You could see that the sliding defence was caught pretty tight there.
Well, 11.5 minutes of the second half gone. Huddersfield have been in charge of it, and Nick Fozzard is being withdrawn by Malcolm Reilly, so he will take a breather. It's great applause from the crowd on that far side.
He's worked hard.
He has. I was going to say, he's had a huge game so far.
Even more pressure now for the London outfit.
And it's big Dave King who's come on for Nick Fozzard. Dave King facing one of his former clubs here. Had a spell with London in the crusading days.
He's a big guy as well, isn't he, Dave King? And the advantage that he will bring to the Giants is the fact that he sometimes sucks in 3 and 4 would-be tacklers. That's when you can catch the defence out wide. Ooh, they're going far too high, the Broncos.
Russell, Huddersfield on a bit of a roll here. Clobbered by 3. Millard was the one to get him. Lying on really in the tackle there. King was the dummy runner, and there is the big bomb from Bobby Goulding. Fleming's after this. Great take from Tollett.
Offside again.
Offside again against them, and what's more, the man was taken in the air.
Yeah. And Arnold went for Tollett rather than the football, and soon as Tollett took control of that football, it had to be a penalty. That's another new rule, and a good one, I might add. Far too many injuries have come about by certain players making no attempt to go for the football and just take the man out. Doesn't do your ribs or kidneys any good.
Chris Ryan on the charge, and good defence again from Huddersfield. Here's Wynyard. Strong run needed from the forwards now for the Broncos, and Retzless could provide it. Good defence though from Huddersfield. They're hunting in threes and fours here.
Problem is, it's too much one-out football from either side, and it needs someone to run a dummy runner and dummy angle, try to just squeeze the gap open.
Hammond will go back the other way. This is Fleming. Good tackle there by Ryan Hudson. Beasley's the dummy half on the last. This is Glen Eyre. He now will go to Eyre. It's a tester for Arnold. Oh, and it was almost claimed, but Arnold did really well. So nearly claimed by Beasley.
Well, you could see Peters went up for it. He went for the football, and then as he was coming down, Beasley, the hooker, looked as though he'd taken that ball. Well, plenty of pressure, but both sides seemed quite happy to just hammer it out in the forwards and then opt for the kick.
Now then, here's the first touch for Dave King. Goulding from deep in his 20-metre zone got that ball away, but only as far as Fleming. Fleming now straightens it up, but Darren Simpson was there and Danny Russell.
But you could see there with that wide shot that the Huddersfield Giants still utilising the sliding defence. And there's only two ways you really can break that down, as I mentioned before: use of the dummy runner or the kick over the top, the little chip.
Well, here's Toshak. King got to him low down. Lenihan over the top. Beasley is a dummy half. Here's Hammond. Wide it goes to Peters, and he comes back in field. Weston's after him and gets him. Last one here for London. What does Carl Hammond have here in the kicking department? Cross field. Ryan's under no pressure. He collects it, dumps it back to Eyre. Now it's with Tollett, and Tollett trying to turn them inside out. Flicked on, and again.
Play on.
Just too long. Flick, flick. Almost like a pinball there in that football.
See how it ricocheted away. And Glen Eyre nearly came up with a bizarre try if it had been allowed. It was a huge kick. Then they got the ball back. It was a good jump by Chris Ryan, the centre.
Coming up to 16 minutes of this second half gone. Offside against London. Too quick off the mark to play the ball. Maybe they know that they have only had one away win this season. That was at Sheffield in March. Maybe that's why they're just a little too eager to move up.
More pressure. Now what do Huddersfield have? 7-4, so they've had plenty of opportunities. Lack of discipline on many occasions by the Broncos, and that hurts.
Good driving again from Ryan Hudson. Turned over on his back, struggling to get to his feet. Here's Goulding again. Good ball to King.
Well, at least the Giants are trying to mix and match it. You could see there that Danny Russell, the hooker, took first receiver. Bobby Goulding went out the second man. So they're trying to move it out a little bit more wider.
Hudson with a drive up the middle. 22 metres out. It's with Goulding again. Here's the kick, another tester for Tollett. It's a great kick too. That will stay in the field of play. Tollett picks it up on the bounce. Fleming went for it. He missed it, and Tollett swept up behind him. Now Chris Ryan.
Well, that wasn't the best attempt to defuse that high bomb. Goulding put plenty of height on it, and well, the first player, the Fleming full-back, went for it, missed it completely. Fortunately, Tolson Tollett was there. Good run, though, there by Peters.
Millard, great tackle on him, though, by Tangatoa. And Goulding. Now Hammond on halfway. Hacks the ball downfield. That'll find touch, and that will eat up the clock a bit more. Two desperate sides on the show here. Huddersfield, who've lost their last 6. London, who have failed to win in their last 9 in Super League. Both desperate for the points.
Safety first by the London skipper.
Up to his average.
Well, he certainly had a fine opening 25 minutes. But neither side, and you often get this, Eddie, that neither side, when they have gone through a bad patch, they become frightened of doing anything different. They just play safety first, And I think that has been on display throughout this game.
Yes, it inhibits their confidence, there's no doubt about that. What would a win do for either of these two clubs?
Or a try at this particular moment in time.
Well, that's Matt Stern. He gets to his feet. Hudson, the dummy half. Goulding. Now the loose forward, Tangata-Toa.
Complaining to the referee, he thought it was a bit high from Beasley.
He's a Tongan, by the way, is Andrew Tangata-Toa. So he's got all the T's, hasn't he? Goulding. Over the top. Here's Fleming. Fleming takes the tackle. This is Tollett.
Again, the sliding defence taking full control.
Here's Timu. Oh, good run from Timu, and he's got Peters in support. And Peters, big raw-boned winger, and Bentley got to him.
Well, he got there eventually, but a split second earlier, it would have been a far more advantageous thing for the London Broncos. Timu had the opportunity, but there was no support. It did come, as I say, eventually from Peters.
This is Wynyard. Oh, he got the ball around the corner to Fleming, and Fleming dropped it. And here comes Arnold for the Giants. Good run from the fullback now, the ringer-turned fullback.
Oh, that was a big hit there from Simpson. But why on earth panic? He was in a good position there to apply the kick, get him in the in-goal area, but Simpson got away with a beauty.
Here's our man again, the Tongan on to Weston. This now is Bentley, and Rexler showed him the touchline. Bentley came back inside. Eyre and Wynyard and Peters combined to bring John Bentley down.
Good work from the loose forward, Triple T. Excellent stuff.
Lenihan, flick pass, but a little bit too fancy.
Again, and Bobby Goulding just raises the arms and says, what on earth are we doing?
Well, we talked about the two sides with a lack of confidence and not displaying their full range of skills because of their poor records at the moment. And to be fair to them, Steve, every little bit of ingenuity they produce comes up with a mistake. I wonder who you think the coach of the losing side will choose as the man of the match. 0660 10 10 13. 2 tickets to the grand final on offer and a place in the draw for the VIP box as well. 0660 10 10 13. Calls invited now to the next 20 minutes. Hammond with a chip over the top, meanwhile, into space. And Bentley didn't touch it.
Well, that's a type of play that will break down a sliding defence. It was a neat chip over there by Carl Hammond. And Bentley thought about it and said, no, we'll take head and feed, absorb even more pressure. Well, he's the man that can swing it the Broncos' way. They cling to that 2-point lead. Will we get one of those wonderful try-scoring specials from that old-timer John Bentley? He's still got the goods.
Goulding feeds this Huddersfield scrum and finds Danny Arnold.
Well, to be fair, both sides, there's still plenty of time, and that's why there's been a certain amount of panic, and I think he lost that. Well, the touch judge didn't see it.
Neither did the referee. Play on was the call from Steve Presley. Lenihan gets to his feet. Good little run.
This is the incident. Oh, yes, that should have been a penalty. Timu definitely had the right arm in.
Another big booming kick downfield. Fleming collects it. There's the chaser. Great run from Gleeson. Russell inevitably alongside him.
That's been one bright spot for the Giants this evening, has been the kick and chase.
Here goes Peters again.
But look at the missed tackle count from London.
And amazingly, they're ahead on the scoreboard.
Well, I mentioned, didn't I, just after the restart, that there was far too many London players going high. It really has been a problem for the players and their coach, Dan Staines, is that they seem to go to sleep in the second half.
Hammond's gone for a big boomer downfield, looking for a 40-20. And he's going to get it. That
Tremendous.
Was well inside the 40 and bounced and found its way. Well, the referee obviously down at ground level on the touch judge. not 100% convinced, but from up here it was obvious that that was easily, he's on the 30-metre dotted line.
Tremendous effort there from Carl Hammond, and it's kicks like that can just give you that little bit of impetus to push forward. But I think if London, I think they'll drive towards the sticks. Here's the replay again, as Eddie mentioned, not the 40, but back on the 30. So I think they'll drive towards the sticks and come up with one of the famous switches with Glenn and Hammond where they run across.
There we go, scrum attack. So the video ref deciding it was indeed, as we could see from up here, a 40-20. So this is an opportunity for London now with Glenn, but good chase by Lenihan. Scrapped into the deck. Now then, this is Toshak. 10 metres away from the Huddersfield post. Toshak plays the ball to Beasley. Here's Hammond. This is Wynyard. Good defence again from Huddersfield, though they did drop off then, and Wynyard, he couldn't get the pass away. Beasley tried to nick one from dummy half. 2 metres away from the line now. King all over his back. Timu is there. He gives it to Hammond. Hammond looking for the gap. Oh, that touched the arm of Russell. That will be a knock-on. He went for it, Danny Russell.
Tried to kid the referee. The hooker and skipper just got a fingertip to it. Pretty difficult though when the ball's just scooting across the face. You don't have time to hold a board meeting. You just whiz out the hand in the hope perhaps that the official don't see. More pressure.
Indeed, and it's with Hammond.
Good work there by the fullback, Danny Arnold.
Yes, Hammond tried to swat him away. He wouldn't be denied. This is Air. Now it's with Simpson out on the far side. Good defence again, though, from Huddersfield. This second half effort from the Giants will have impressed their coach, Malcolm Reilly, in defence. Can they hold out here against the second set of 6 in a row from the London Broncos? Hammond missed out Retchless and found Fleming. Great tackle on him by Tanga Tatoa. Beasley is waiting at dummy half. They've lined up down the left-hand side. The kick slid through.
Back to 6.
And that could have been a little knock-on against Glenair. The referee, though, wipes the tackle count down. Hammond will get the try he deserves. That crowd's a fine personal display from Carl Hammond. But I wonder whether the crowd are right to complain about a possible knock-on by Glenair as he retrieved that ball after it came ricocheting back off of the Huddersfield defender.
Well, he put the kick through, long ball out wide. The defence was pretty solid. They knew that the fullback, Greg Fleming, was coming into it. They spotted him, but from here, keep your eye out for Hammond. Puts the kick through. Now then, did he make a play at it? That would have been a knock-on anyway.
I wonder whether Air got a little fingertip to this, though.
Nope, didn't appear that way. Dave King certainly went through. It was a beautiful dummy, though. And they took it. Chip through. That'll be the knock-on from Dave King. Couldn't really see, but I don't think that Glenair. But look at this dummy. Weston went out wide. Nothing that Arnold could do about it. London skipper knew, and what a vital try that is.
And that not only is a vital try in this match, it's a little landmark for Carl Hammond, the 90th try of his career. Tolson Tollett then. This is a difficult kick for, I was going to use the word inexperienced kicker, and that proves the point. 14 points to 20. London have a little bit of daylight, and these are anxious moments indeed for Dan Staines, the London coach, trying to arrest this awful run.
There you see Weston taking the dummy. Constructive play by the Broncos skipper, and as I mentioned, a vital try.
London are allowing the kick-off to bounce, almost fatally. So close there was Martin Gleeson.
Well, you should never allow a ball to bounce there, and that's the second occasion we saw right at the start of this game when Lenihan took a ball that the Broncos allowed to bounce again. It's been a problem yet again in this match for the London side. Just stand around and let it bounce.
13 minutes to go, 6 points the gap between these two. And here's Millard. Big hit on Millard. Borton was the man in. Hammond, he's kicked them to death tonight. This time, though, it's on the halfway line. This will be head and feed to the Giants.
Well, he knows they've got that commanding lead. 6 points. They want to score again to breathe a little bit easier, but he's taking control yet again. He went through a bit of a dodgy period midway through this game, but the London skipper realising the importance of slowing things down. Control it with not just a long kick, but quite a few little dinks through and a little chip over. Created a lot of problems in the Huddersfield defence. They've got to throw everything now, the Giants.
They have, with 12 minutes remaining. And London have got to defend for their lives to come up with a victory at the end of the most horrendous run of results in the club's history. But Craig Weston and company will not want to be the fall guys. Here's Fozzard again, back to add his considerable weight for the last 10 minutes or so.
Well, to be fair, the Giants came back just before the end of that first half. Berry and Borton got
Goulding's
2
gone
tries.
for the 40-20 now. Boyd went out on the full. He was looking for the territory.
He knew how important it was. He got himself in a good position. Just didn't get it right.
Just bounced the wrong side of the 20-metre line. And in fact, it went out on the full anyway.
That's right. Another couple of metres on the inside. That would have been a perfect kick.
Here come the Broncos again then with Millard. He straightens it up.
Well, surely Dan Staines will got the message out to go to the sticks and then go for the 1 point. It'll make the Giants have to score twice to get back into this match.
Here's Millard. He's looking for 4. It's a question now of just how much fuel is left in the tank for these two sides. Beasley to Hammond. Hammond wants the 1-pointer. He's missed it.
Well, he pulled it. He gave himself plenty of space. Pretty close.
Very close. But Steve Presley was perfectly positioned to rule immediately. So, just about 10 minutes left for play. And nothing to choose between these two as Darren Simpson gets to his feet, and it's with Goulding. And here now is Berry.
Well,
3 to bring him down.
They did use a dummy runner there, but Berry ran into his own man.
Offside. Offside against the Broncos again. And Goulding tells Ryan Hudson just to hang on and give him the football, because he's going to punch it further downfield and put more pressure on this Broncos line.
Well, it was lack of discipline by London on 2 occasions that allowed the Giants to score just before the half-time break. Can they do it again? Can they come back from the dead?
Fozzard plays it to Russell. Russell then finds Berry. And Berry is lifted and almost driven into the turf by Millard. Russell again, Lenihan, he switches the direction of the attack to Goulding. That hunched run from Goulding. Borton is tackled by Wynyard. Hudson to Goulding again, out wide it goes. That's a good ball.
Great defence. Chris Ryan took his man there.
Danny Arnold had chimed into the line. Here's Goulding once more. High kick for Dominic Peters. It's 2 against 1. Bentley's there. Oh,
offside.
Whistle goes. No try. Bentley thinks he's come up with a 4. So did Malcolm, really. And it is umpteenth time in this match that Bentley has been caught offside from the kick. Was he?
Well, I don't think it was Bentley that was offside, but there was somebody in there, and if he's within the 10 metres, irrespective of whether that man was onside, and I think you'll find that it's not Bentley, up on that far corner, there it is, he's the man nearest to Simpson, and that's the reason, the man that contacted Simpson, you have to make sure you're within the 10.
Well, the Huddersfield Giants would believe that the gods are conspiring against them. That went through the legs of Beasley. They're getting nothing. That will be the tale from the Huddersfield supporters. Rexless drives it over halfway. Timu is the dummy half. Here now is Wynyard. Crowd giving referee Steve Presley a real old time of it. 0660 10-10-13 for your votes for man of the match. Hammond stabs it through. Goulding collects. Here come the Giants once again.
Well, that surprised me. A man experienced like Carl Hammond going for an attacking move like that, when all they had to do was kick it deep, apply the kick and chase. You don't come up with things like that. It's Huddersfield that have to do things like that.
Well, now it's a test of this Broncos defence. That's Hudson. He's collared by Beasley. Russell to Goulding. Goulding to Fozzard. Fozzard! Good strong run. He doesn't deserve to be on a losing side, Nick Fozzard.
Are you ready, Mr. Peters?
Here it comes. Goulding will pepper Peters again. This time they're onside. And this time, Peters has dropped it again! Arnold will get the try! Oh, Dominic Peters! Twice last week. And now again tonight. And John Bentley went and put his arm round the referee, Steve Presley, then. That's not the wisest thing to do. But Dominic Peters has dropped the ball and Danny Arnold has scored the try that could level this match up. And who would be Dominic Peters? Not me for a big clock.
Well, they will point the finger at this young winger. And rightly so, he made a meal of it. It was another huge kick. And perhaps Dan Staines, as we mentioned before, should have brought him off. It was not the best effort. But let's go back to the build-up to that, when Carl Hammond put in a kick, an attacking kick, when it really should have been a deep one. In all the time, it's a simple try to Arnold.
And this goal to level it. It's all square at the McAlpine Stadium, 20 points apiece. We've got 5 hectic minutes left. The Giants think they can win it.
Well, what a game Bobby Goulding's had with the kick. And it was an enormous mistake. But they should not have been in that position, London. They should have been down the other end of the field. And why on earth did the skipper Hammond go for such a crafty kick when all it needed was a kick into the corner, a good chase?
But Steve-O, I think you made the point as well. You have to ask why Dominic Peters is still out there on the field. Here now come the Giants once again with Gleeson. And that ball was lost somewhere along the line. I think it'll be head and feet here. Will it be head and feet? First knock on to the Broncos? It will.
Well, he loses it there. And I think Gleeson tries to bring the ball back into the play. And it'll be a relieved London side.
Remember, London have drawn 2 of their previous 4 matches in this horrendous run of results for them. It's all tied up here. 4.5 minutes to go. And maybe, once again, Mr. Michael Stevenson will have the task of picking the man of the match. Because if it stays at a draw, the coach of both sides has a nomination, and Steve-O makes the choice. Here's Timu. Maybe it won't be necessary. What other little twist and turn have we got in the next 4 minutes? Spencer's on to Hammond. Here's Tollett.
Surely they'll go for the field goal. Hammond is setting himself up there. Is he deep enough, though?
This is the last. Hammond went for it, but he hasn't found the mark at all. And that's classed as a diffusion of the bomb behind the line by Danny Arnold.
Well, it was a good option.
Well, not another draw for the Broncos, surely. Maybe not. Maybe Ryan Hudson can drive forward, and he did on that occasion. Now Russell. Dominic Peters must be out here and dreading what might be coming in a few moments.
Huddersfield trying to get field position. Fozzard will take it through. Oh, he's lost it.
Oh, this is Ryan. Ryan with an intercept. Where's the support?
Fozzard tried to offload. Ryan came up with it. They've got another chance at the Broncos. Stern with a big tackle.
Can the Broncos drive it underneath those sticks? Can Huddersfield hold out? Millard to Hammond. And Hammond comes away from the direction of the post. Now he'll go back. This is Spencer. Tolson Collett pointed him towards the centre of the field.
Will they go early?
Hammond is running away from the post, looking for four. This is Toshak. He's dumped to the ground. That's the last. They'll have to work it infield quickly. It's back to Glenair. And Glenair has kicked the one-pointer. Glenair gives London the lead.
Just what the doctor ordered. There were so many people calling for that ball, and Glenair overruled them all. He was in the best position. He was screaming at the top of his voice. Hammond wanted it. Dan Staines didn't mind, as long as it was the 1 point. Boy, oh boy, how close can you be?
The first one-pointer of Glenair's London Broncos career with 2 minutes to go. And remember, they will get the ball back from this kickoff. That could have won the match for the Broncos. It's a shallow kickoff. Oh, so close.
Lenihan. Well, oh, they could score a try here. They've scrambled back. Hudson just got to him. Well, it's had everything, hasn't it?
It has. It really has. And Hammond will take the tackle, and surely now London will just stick it up the jumper and kick for touch, or will they? Huddersfield will look and hope for a mistake. Here's Spencer.
Well, it makes you wonder why they didn't bring Spencer on earlier, take away the pressure, because the winger Dominic Peters has just been peppered throughout this second half.
Retchless to Timu, and Timu, he just stabbed it. It's Simpson, I beg your pardon. Simpson stabbed it, and he stabbed it into touch. It will be head and feed to Huddersfield, and this will be their last chance.
Not the best, though. Came off the side of the boot, and he got a real ticking off from not just his skipper, Carl Hammond, but all the forwards saying, what on earth did you do that for? And that really should have gone downfield into the in-goal area.
A right Shamozzle at the scrum, and the referee now holds the clock up. 31 seconds to go.
Well,
Get ready. You get ready. Time on.
Right, 30 seconds for Huddersfield to win it. And here they come again with Weston. That's good defence though from Timu and Peters.
they've got a kick and chase. It's their only hope now.
15 seconds to go. Lenihan, not the best. Bolton did well. Hudson.
Good tackle by Ryan.
Ryan and Hammond. There's another one. 3 seconds to go. I think it's time up for Huddersfield. This will be the last tackle of the match.
Kick and chase.
Goes. Chip over the top. Millard collects it. He takes the tackle. And London win by the narrowest of margin. And Dan Staines looks skywards, raises his eyebrows. And Bobby Goulding, despite all his ingenuity, ends up on the losing side. 21 points to 20, and Malcolm really is a man alone with his thoughts in the Huddersfield Giants dressing room. He knows his men went so close until Glenair dropped the goal with 2 minutes to go. It was 21-20, and that's the way it ended up. Amazing match at the McAlpine Stadium. At last, London have broken their jinx. They failed to win in their last 9 in Super League, including Wembley. It was 10. The worst run of results in the club's history. At long last, they've drawn a red line under that, courtesy of the boot of Glenair. His one-pointer has settled the game, and London Broncos win by the narrowest of margins. Poor old Huddersfield. Tries disallowed. They will think the gods are conspiring against them.